Well, my first ever job was absolutely the appropriate job to have when you're going to go into the world of finance, and that was a milk boy. So I say this to my kids all the time. The greatest thing about that job was I got up at 4 o'clock, 5 mornings a week, worked till 7:30, earned $3 in the middle of winter, running the streets, picking up coins, picking up bottles, and I felt like I was a king. So I learned very quickly in life, if you do, you get. So I got my first American Cadillac truck skateboard care of that job. So that was still one of the great jobs I've ever had. Graduate at Arthur Anderson in December 1981 when I finished uni in November 81. So yeah, as a graduate with no experience. It's a really, really difficult question, that. There's no standout moments, but you know, what we do here is we just share a journey with people, and there have been some really high points where people have either been in a really bad situation and we've been able to, we're not the maker of all miracles, but we've been able to help to get them through that. And we've had clients who've had incredible opportunities and we've nailed it. We've nailed it with them. And so they're really high. But if I have a high point, is watching people like Clayton and Ange develop from young people to now be the drivers of this practice and the mentor to all these young people. This place is full of 80 people. I can't believe it. It's a living, breathing thing. It will just continue to develop and get better and better. And the people who were here originally, Mike, Steve, we're part of the journey, but this thing is so much bigger than us. So that's exciting. It really is. This practice has always been based around positive things like doing, getting it done. And if there's one thing I want to say to anyone who's worked with me, any client in life, if you look at the times where you've just done it, you can think of all the reasons not to do it, all those risk management reasons not to, you do it, and at 12 months later you go, thank God I did it. So yeah, so I think all my highlights professionally is where we've actually been able to help clients just to get it done. There's two standout things. For me, listening and learning from everyone around you. And every day, if you've had a good day, you've learned something. And the other thing I learned is that if you don't like doing what you're doing, you'll never be good at it. You've got to love what you do and you'll be good at it. I think what I'm most proud of from a sense of BLG, I mean, you know, wider life things, clearly I'm proud of my kids and where they've gone to, and, you know, I've had a wife who's, endured some things that no one should have had to endure because of me, and she's made that work for me. But when I look at BLG, what I'm most proud of is just where it is now. Like, I can leave here knowing that my clients who I have shared a journey with, it's the thing that's given me just so much pleasure in being involved. I can leave knowing they're just going to be so well looked after with people who can offer more than I can now. Because, you know, I've had my time. I've got young, smart, energetic people coming through in this organisation. It's, as I said previously in one of the questions, it's just got momentum. It's got growth, and it's got a good value system. You know, this place is driven. It started off being about the client, service, support, relationship. Those three principles still hold from the top down. I'm very proud of what I'm leaving behind. It's the journey. It's the journey with. I met Steve Long when I was 4 years old. He's my oldest friend. I met Michael at uni when I was 20. I was a few years ahead of him. And to actually be able to build something with people who you know have got your back and you know you'd do anything for them. Sharing the journey with them, it's been at sometimes quite chaotic and crazy. It's been so much fun. Sharing the journey with clients, and you know, it's a privilege. You know, like, we are given an opportunity to be relevant and be part of something that someone's pursuing. I think the thing that's made us a different firm early, and it is the fact we've always tried to be in tune with the client. What's the client trying to do? Just listen and try and work out how you can help for that client to do. Every client we've got out in this practice that's done well understands that you take a bit of risk and you get a reward. There's no perfection, so you've got to work through that. So, my advice to them is don't take themselves too serious and keep learning from the people we're working for. Oh, the people. There's just no doubts. I'll miss the internally. I've had incredible relationships. Particularly with Mike and Steve. Ange is like a second daughter to me. I love her. She's looked after me. I wouldn't have had the length of the career without her. Because I haven't needed to be here, but I've wanted to be here. But fundamentally, I couldn't put the level of energy and activity into this place that I did for the first 20 years in the last 5, and she's been able to get me through that. So I'll be eternally grateful to her forever. If there was one thing, I think, I've probably never given my family the level of time that they were entitled to, because to do this stuff, it does absorb you. So I want to put a bit more energy and time into to my wife and to my kids, and if she hears this, she'll probably choke. But yeah, so no to-do list. But I had got to tell you, I'm going to see a fair few places around the world in the next 8 months, more by chance than planning. Anyone who's ever worked with me knows that I'm not a details person, never have been. And what tends to happen is I fall into things. But when I fall into them, I then become a bit obsessive compulsive. So I don't have actually anything particularly planned. I'd like to help my kids to look for opportunities that I was really fortunate enough to do, because at the end of the day, you always need someone just giving you a little bit of push. I've had them, and I appreciated the push that those people gave me over my journey. So yeah, probably more interested in helping them with their projects than actually having a project other than, stay healthy, do as much and as many things as you can, because you're getting older, dude, and in 20 years time you probably won't be doing them. So yeah, it's a no-brainer that I'm going to come back and say hello. And clearly I'll be in touch with, particularly the people who've been with me who are still here for such a long time. I'm also a bit of a believer that we have our time, and I've had my time. And so this place will move on, and in 2 years' time I'll walk in here and 60% of the people won't know me, and they'll wonder who we are, and someone might say to them, he was the B, and they'll be going, no, isn't that Bernardi, the B in BLG? So yeah, I will definitely be back to talk to anyone who wants to listen to me.